They can smother, catch on, and break and destroy whole swaths of coral reef.
Basically, with every tide cycle or every big swell, they're just sort of moving slightly and bulldozing across a reef like a tumbleweed or a steamroller. So you can see huge swaths that are just crunched from a net that's been left on the reef.
Fishing nets are made to catch fish, and even when they're not actively used as fishing gear, they are still performing that function of catching things in the ocean.
Once this is just left, it continues to do the fishing, but no human is getting any benefit from that. So it's harming the environment double duty. As you know, standing on coral, touching coral kills it. It's very thin tissue of an animal sitting on top of a calcium skeleton. And if you just brush that, you're killing that tissue that's on the top. And so you can imagine when this stuff hits the reef, it's literally abrading and killing that coral. And it's also getting pushed by the wind and the waves closer to shore. And that means that it's grabbing onto coral colonies and tumbling and flipping them. So we see a lot of fragmentation, abrasion. It's one of the biggest concerns I have for pollution in the ocean is derelict fishing gear.
The derelict fishing gear that's removed with this bounty program is not from Hawaii. We just happen to be positioned downstream from a large collection point in the middle of the North Pacific that occasionally spins off tendrils of marine debris that come on wind and current and end up on our beaches and nearshore reefs.
So these are nets and fishing gear that are lost, in the course of normal operation, but they're not from Hawaii fisheries. They're from Pacific Rim trawl fisheries, net fisheries, which we don't have here in Hawaii.
We have reason to believe that the majority of this debris is getting lost from Asian fisheries, and then that accumulates into the North Pacific garbage patch, which sits between Hawaii and California. Up until recently, CMDR is the only organization talking to the Asian fisheries stakeholders about this issue in Hawaii.
The goal of the bounty project is to remove derelict fishing gear from the ocean. So we pay commercial fishermen to remove this derelict fishing gear anywhere between $1 and $3 per dry pound for it. We've removed about 189,000 pounds of marine debris over the course of the project so far.
So we have these two different commercial fishermen communities. One is the longline fleet. There's 150 vessels in that fleet. They operate here out of Honolulu. The other group of fishermen would be pole and line. They can be trap, they can be spear fishing. It doesn't matter what kind of target species they're going after, as long as they're commercial fishermen that can bring debris back to Oahu. And we have about 6 that are active in that.
Just getting these big nets on board takes coordination with the crew. You have to use their onboard crane, their boom, to lift these nets out of the ocean. And imagine it, in a high sea state, it can be dangerous. To provide some payment to crew for doing that service is important.
Truck fuel, it has to get loaded into a truck and then delivered somewhere. That all costs money. So this bounty program has been great to sort of offset the costs for doing the right thing. And it means you can do more.
So we have funding for the next 3 months, but we would like to continue the program beyond that.
After June, if we don't get more funding to run the project, then it literally it stalls, and this debris won't get removed from the ocean.
We've finally gotten to the point where this is a well-oiled machine, and we could certainly use more bounty fishers, but to go backwards now is just something that would be such a travesty, and everybody would immediately notice the difference, right? These things would just start stacking up.
Success means removing as much as we possibly can and replicating the program globally.